Hello, friends, and welcome to the Virtual Strangers review discussion of Beat Saber. I'm your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend, Roots. Roots, how you doing, brother?
Good. How are yourself?
Not too shabby. So, talking about Beat Saber today, and this is the part of the video where we explain to you all what Beat Saber is, but I'm pretty sure that if you're watching this video, you already know what Beat Saber is. In fact, most people already know what Beat Saber is. This is probably the most popular VR game that there is today. This is the game that's synonymous with VR. If you talk to someone who is uninitiated about VR, they're likely to come at you with some sort of response like, "Oh, you mean that Beat Saber thing, right?" So, yeah, no one needs to know what Beat Saber is. Uh, but in case you've been under a rock, obviously it's a rhythm slashing game where you pick a song, normally some kind of electronica music, and you have different colored blocks, each color corresponding to the lightsaber in your right or left hand. And it's a coordination and rhythm timing game. Um, I guess I should note that this it was developed by Beat Games. It was released into early access on May 1st, 2018, but came into full release on May 21st of this year, 2019. It retails for $29.99 and was released on PlayStation VR November 20th, 2018. Also, $29.99. Roots. Uh, I know you've been into Beat Saber for a while. This was your game for review this week. Did you pick up Beat Saber at launch?
Yeah. I picked it up. I think it was $20 at launch, and it wasn't even Beat Games at that point. I can't remember what the name was, but it was a different um, name, and I think they changed it a couple times. But I think Beat Games is a good fit. But it was really good. I mean, it's still really good. I just I've moved on to greener pastures, but I was looking at it when I was playing this for the review, and I've got almost 50 hours in this. So I'm not a rookie, so I jumped right into expert, and man, that shit's fucking fast, man. Like, I forgot how fast it is. It's not so, I forget, it's not something that you're just going to jump in there and you're just slashing away perfect. You get into rhythms, and you do have to learn certain songs. Sorry, Alex. It does require actually learning and replaying over and over again once you get up to the very, very hard levels. So that is a misnomer as far as Audica goes. But yeah, it is. I think one of the best things about this is the immersion. Wouldn't you agree? As far as just the way everything looks, and you really do feel like you're standing in that space, correct?
Oh yeah, yeah. It's nice. It's nice looking visually. The 3D depth really creates a sense of immersion with it. Um, Let me ask you. I mean, you had this game well before you ever played Audica,
Mm-hmm.
and people to this day are still nuts about this game. Even you yourself just admitted that you've got 50 plus hours in it. Were you as high on it then as everyone else is now?
I don't know. I don't feel like I was, but maybe I was. I mean, I must have been if I was playing it a lot. I mean, I used to go in every single day and I would play, like I was telling you earlier, songs like Mulan's, Make a Man Out of You, just certain songs that my kids really loved growing up that already were stuck in my head. And then I would download it, and the track was done so well. That's the thing about this. If you play a track that's created well, it feels really good. It goes well together, especially certain songs. And that was my biggest gripe going into it this time, because it's been so long that I've played that obviously the mod's not working anymore. And I remember the last time I tried to play a month or two ago, the mod was increasingly more difficult to install. It just wasn't as easy as it used to be. And then I'm looking today, and there's all these packs you can buy, and it's extra money, and you know what made this game so good is now they're making it harder to do the mod. And I'm sure there's people that are like, no, dude, it's really easy, it's simple. It's just not. They're making it harder for people to find out where to find the stuff to do it. I know, because I went through trying to find it, and in the beginning it was super easy. Now it's not as easy, and so they're pushing people to paying for the tracks. And I realized today, playing the tracks that are out there, they're kind of shitty. They're okay, but they're not what everybody raves about. I don't think they're that good. All the songs that I spent that 45 hours playing were ones I downloaded. So without the mod, this game is okay, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I think that that's very important to note here, that when you're giving your impressions of Beat Saber, you're not really giving your impressions of Beat Saber as it is when you buy it. You're giving your impressions of the modified version of Beat Saber with all these custom tracks and beat maps. The version I played was just the stock version that with the songs that just came with it. And I found on a couple of occasions, you know, I'm still a beginner, still new at this. I just played it for the first time so that I could have some frame of reference to host this video. But I found myself a couple of times, especially early on, I wasn't really playing it as a rhythm game. I was just slashing them as they got to me, independent of the beat, independent of the song. Obviously, you're doing it in rhythm because it's set up that way. But I kind of felt like if it were music that I enjoyed, that I would probably play the game better because I would be getting in to the music a little bit more. Don't get me wrong, you know, out of the 10 to 15 tracks that I played, there was probably 2 or 3 that I did like, and I had fun playing this game. I did have fun playing it, but I feel like the experience here, the value in this game, is in the modded version. But you know, again, that's me saying that, having not tried it. But I feel like this game could be much better if it had tracks, you know, some more rock tracks, stuff that I like to listen to, rather than just this electronica style music that the game was based on.
Yeah, it's ironic too because you don't get the tracks and you pay more money for the newer version, the updated version. You know, and I looked, and I'm a big fan of Imagine Dragons. Believers is my favorite song to play in this game, and I refuse to pay for it. I refuse to pay extra for extra tracks, especially when I can download them for free on a mod that literally put this game on the map. This map doesn't exist at all in its form if the modding community didn't step up like they did. So I'm a little jaded in that respect, and it's funny because it's been how long since these packs have been out, and I've never really cared because I never really played this game since they came out. And now that I went in and didn't have the mod set up, didn't have time to set up the mod, you know, I just feel like it's juicing people. And I mean, I guess to if they can get away with it, that's great, but they won't be getting my money. So
I see. All right, so that pretty much. I mean, I think we've pretty much explained what we feel about the audio tracks on this. We feel that it could be better. They're sufficient for what the game is. The game's fun, even if the music's not good. But they could do better from an audio perspective. They should have some more diversity and style of the music that they play. Let's talk a little bit about how the game looks. We talked about it a little bit before, that the 3D depth does create a very good sense of immersion. But like the audio tracks, there isn't a lot of variety song to song, level to level in this game. It all pretty much looks the same from start to finish. Do you view that as a positive or a negative, Roots?
I guess it's neither really. I mean, especially when you get to this level of play, it's kind of like, any paced game, you not even really paying attention to the background, as much. But, I mean, it would be nice to have different things going on. Maybe try to distract you, make it a little bit harder. I know, they were talking about, or you were telling me about they've got like a 360 mode, on the Quest, which I've never tried, and then they also have a campaign, which I never got a chance to try. There's different modes as far as that goes, but yeah, visually, I think it would be nice to have some different backgrounds, I guess.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I always normally lean on the side of variety. I'd like, some change, and I'm kind of surprised that the modding community hasn't done this yet. But that said, with this type of game, you're really, it's all about focusing in on these blocks. And if they were to change it up, it could get distracting, kind of like the later levels of Tetris Effect when you're
Hmm.
trying to concentrate on the Tetris game, but it's so hard because of the different backgrounds and things that are going on. So I can kind of see why they chose to go this route with it.
So maybe they have like a special hard mode or something. Because what's cool about Tetris Effect is they're doing that on purpose. They're trying to fuck with you. So maybe they have levels on this that would be cool is if you had like a song and it was like Nine Inch Nails and it was the video of Nine Inch Nails or just something distracting. You remember the old school Guitar Hero, and that was what was hard is like you had the video of weird shit going on the screen, and so you're trying to pay attention to the notes, and you're also looking at like what the fuck is he doing there, and I just think it would add something. It could be kind of cool, and you nailed it. You already have the modding community doing all sorts of stuff for this game, so why not do some visual stuff as well?
Yeah, that would definitely be cool. Um, Gameplay. Obviously, gameplay is the strength of Beat Saber, right? Uh, just completely intuitive. I mean, there was a lot of times when I was playing this game where I didn't see the directional arrows, and I just guessed at which way I should slice it, and more times than not, I got it right. So obviously they've got the gameplay down here. When it's that intuitive that you can get into a flow and slice without thinking about it and do it flawlessly, even your first time playing it like it was for me, uh, that says a lot about the how well done the gameplay is here. Uh, or at least in my opinion. Was it that intuitive for you? Can you remember back when this was new to you? Did it just kind of come naturally for you the way it did for me?
Yeah, for the most part, and that's why I love this type of game, whether it be this game or Audica or even some of the other games, where you're shooting stuff and going like Polybius. It's all designed to you just get in a zone and you're almost get in a trance of sorts where you do, especially in the speeds like this that's going on this level. This is Expert Plus. You will just be doing shit and you're like, you don't even know how the hell you're doing it. You probably aren't even guessing most of the time. You probably really are seeing what it is and you're nailing what it is, but you think it's a guess. But that's the beauty of it. I love, and I've said it before, I love playing games where everything is complete and utter chaos and out of control, and somehow I'm controlling it. It just feels so good. And Beat Saber is a perfect example of that, especially as time goes by and you get, further and further, advanced levels.
Yeah, as intuitive as the gameplay was for me, I could only imagine what it must be like for someone like you who has 50 some hours in the game. Uh, I'd say you could probably play it on easy with one eye closed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, you mentioned Audica there, and you know, I tried Audica not long ago, and I really enjoyed it, and I assumed that I would like Audica better than Beat Saber in every way. And for the most part, when I got into Beat Saber, it was pretty much what I expected. But there was a couple of things that surprised me about it. Um, One being, I always kind of assumed that the way that they ramped the difficulty up in Beat Saber was only by increasing the number of blocks and by increasing the speed at which they come at you. But that's not exactly true. I wasn't giving them enough credit here because they do some other things with moving the blocks around, with uh, the directional sign. You know, you have to swipe in the direction of the arrow, but after you get so far in the game, the directional arrows only appear for just a moment and then they disappear. So that added a lot of difficulty to the game, and it was a little bit more nuanced than I thought it would be. But that said, in comparison to Audica, Audica has so many different types of things going on. I still find it preferential from a gameplay standpoint to Beat Saber.
No, you
Now,
said, oh, so you said
sorry,
that was that was the campaign, correct? For the
that
arrows and
yeah,
stuff. 'Cause
that's
I
where
know.
I was getting ready to go with this. Was the one thing that I think Beat Saber has over Audica is that campaign mode. And for those of you that don't know, you start the campaign and it runs you through a really long list of songs with branching paths. You play the first song and you can choose a path. You can go right to this song or left to this song. And it all eventually comes back to the same goal. But I felt that it was really cool. It controls the level of difficulty. So while level 1 starts on easy, level 2 might be easy, but then level 3 goes up to the next difficulty level. So it gives you something to play through. It doesn't require you to choose the songs other than just choosing your path, like a Dick Wild or something. And this is something that I really enjoyed about this game that I would really like to see in Audica.
Yeah, it sounds really cool. Actually, like I said, I hadn't played it for a couple months, and they didn't have that when I played it last, and I forgot they added it, or I thought it was only on the Quest. I guess they've added it to this as well since I've played, and didn't get a chance to check it out. So I will have to go back and check this out. But I'm hoping maybe they will add something like that to Audica. That would be really cool. But yeah, I agree. I think you'd be remiss to say that this game is just one facet. It's got a lot of different things going on for it, and adding the campaign is huge.
Yeah, I had fun with it, and I like objective-based gameplay. I don't like just getting on and chasing leaderboards all the time. Of course, it does make it fun if you have a Jim Hall or somebody who's your arch nemesis that you're constantly trying to one up. But yeah, I like the objective-based gameplay, and if the Audica people happen to see this one day, I think it's a very good idea. I mean, obviously, you don't want to just rip off the Beat Saber idea, but to have any kind of objective-based gameplay, something to do other than chase leaderboards, I think would be nothing but good. It was probably my favorite thing about this game, other than just the sheer intuitiveness of the gameplay.
How good did it feel to slice blocks with a lightsaber? Did you feel like a
Felt great, man.
badass?
I didn't particularly care for the fact that, you know, they send these blocks at you, and some of them it doesn't matter which direction that you slice them. And I just kind of stuck my sabers out to try to let the blocks slice themselves, you know, fly through them. And it didn't count. You have to literally swing it. That kind of pissed me off a little bit. It broke my streak. But yeah, it feels really good. It kind of feels like playing drums in the air. I really think that I would really dig this game if it were modded, and I really like the songs. Really, my biggest problem with it was I couldn't really get into the music. The game was fun, but the music detracted from the fun that I was having. So, yeah,
So
I
definitely,
think that it felt really good, but could have been better.
well, definitely check out the mod and then let me know. I'm curious now to see how easy it'll be for you to install, or find it, because like I said, it's not impossible, but it's just not as easy as it used to be. So
Yeah, if it's anything that's going to take me any kind of real effort to install, I'll probably just move on to something else. I'm not the biggest modder in the world anyway, and obviously I'm not chomping at the bit to play Beat Saber because it's been out for 2 years now and I've played it one time. So
yeah.
anyway, I think that pretty much that we've pretty much covered it here. Ruuts, $30. Fairly pricey from a VR game perspective, but again, this is the number one VR game. This is the one that everybody wants, the one that everybody loves. Uh, $30, a fair price in your opinion?
I paid 20 for it. I would say 30 if it included the DLCs. That would be fair, but you know, I mean, obviously you can't begrudge them for wanting to capitalize on having the, like you said, the number one game. I mean, there's not anybody that I've ever ran into that I've talked to about VR that hasn't said, "Oh, that one game with the lightsabers." You know, it's been on Fallon. I mean, it's went viral on YouTube. So I'm not going to downplay the importance Beat Saber is to VR. I just feel like $30 is a bit much for what it is, but you know, I guess if you love it or if you love this type of game, then maybe it is worth $30.
Yeah, I think that you know, we've said it a bunch of times that price is subjective. It depends on the individual. All I can really say is that for me, I'm a person who is on a budget. I can't just buy everything that I want, but I really couldn't see myself paying $30 for this. I really couldn't. You know, it wouldn't surprise if you like this sort of game and this sort of music, then absolutely it's worth $30. It's a fun game, and obviously I'm just one person, and for every person like me who says it's okay, there's probably 30 other people who are going to tell you that it's great. So who am I to say that it's not worth $30? All I can really say is I won't be paying $30 for it.
I would wait on a sale, but
Yeah,
I don't even know.
definitely.
Does it ever go on sale anymore? I mean, I haven't really paid too much attention. I don't remember seeing it out there on sale too much. So
Well, when it was in early access, like you said, it was $20. So I got to imagine that from time to time, they're going to put it on sale for 20, and I think that's a much more fair price for it.
yeah, it's real. That's exactly where it needs to be, I think. But
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
I agree totally. All right. Well, that said, that's going to wrap up our Virtual Strangers review discussion of Beat Saber. What do you think about Beat Saber? Be sure to let us know in the comments down below. And if you've liked the video, click the like button. And for those of you who are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell to keep up with our nearly daily content here on the Virtual Strangers channel. So, I want to thank you guys for watching, and for Ruuts, I'm Wes. See you tomorrow, friends. Bye-bye.
Take it easy.